Please welcome to the stage, Governor Wes Moore.
Oh my God! What's going on? What's going on? Oh, look at these beautiful people. How y'all doing? We're ready to celebrate because we got a lot to celebrate too. And first, I got to give a special shout out to my frat brother, our leader, and the person doing a remarkable job here at the GBC, Mark Anthony Thomas, for his amazing leadership and being a true friend to this city and to this region. Mark, God bless you, man. To my other brother, Dr. Sumter, and the entire GBC board, I just want to tell you on behalf of an entire state how grateful we all are for your leadership and everything you continue to do for all of us. We are proud to stand with you today and always. God bless you, and thank you for everything you do for each and every one of us. Thank y'all. And I know we have a bunch of friends and a bunch of local electeds in the room, but the thing that, and I want to say thank you for being my partner in the work and being my colleague, but the thing I'm also really excited about is this, is that this room represents what's necessary. This room represents what change actually looks like. Because in order for change to be real, it means that everybody's got to be a part of it. It means that everybody's got an important and investor role in it. And we're talking about elected officials, we're talking about the private sector, we're talking about nonprofits, we're talking about community organizations, we're talking about the people. Because if we're serious about change, and we're serious about building the kind of city and the kind of region that those who came before us hope for, and those who come after us deserve, it means that every single one of us needs to have our fingerprints on the blueprint. Because that's exactly what tonight represents. Tonight represents a unique opportunity for us to actually come together and do big things. And I've said it before, I will say it again, and I'm gonna keep on saying it. This will be Maryland's decade. And you know, it's funny. When I said it before, people were like, that's great. Now, 17 months in, I think people are starting to believe us. This is Maryland's decade. But in order for this to be Maryland's decade, it must be Baltimore's time. Because not only is the city of Baltimore stronger than it's ever before, I want to be clear that the partnership between the city and the state has never been stronger than what it is right now. The partnership with the private sector, the partnership with the nonprofits, the partnership with the business community, everybody and everybody who's choosing to work together, because we cannot miss this moment. If we miss this moment, then shame on us. But when we capture this moment, the celebration will be because of what you helped to inspire. Because partnership actually produces progress. So we chose to come together. We chose to come together to address the issue of public safety, where we said that everyone has a right to feel safe in their own communities, in their own homes, and in their own skin. And by working together, we have brought the homicide rates in Baltimore to the lowest levels that they have been in almost a decade. And we are not done. That we chose to work together to drive economic growth, to be able to leverage the remarkable assets that we have here in the city, and to be able to recruit new assets to be able to come on board as well. And what has been the result? That we now see Baltimore has one of the fastest growing economies in this nation, and we are just getting started. That partnership is not just a talking point to us. It's our economic reality. And I can tell you this partnership has never been more clear, and the importance of this partnership has never been more clear than what we've seen for the past 8 weeks. Because I've come to learn in this job that when my phone rings in the middle of the night, I'm never about to get good news. The good news always waits until the morning. And at 2:02 in the morning, when my phone rang, letting me know that the Key Bridge is now gone. A bridge that is so iconic that I don't even know what the Baltimore skyline looks like without it, because that Key Bridge has been there ever since I've been born. And when we got down there and saw the basic reality that we now had a ship that was the size of 3 football fields, a ship that is the weight of the Washington Monument, a container ship where each one of those containers weighs about 1.5 to 2.5 tons that the dolly was carrying. And to be clear, the dolly had 4,000 of those containers on it. That's the size of this ship. When we were first awoken at 2:02 in the morning, to know that we now had this ship that was stuck in the middle of the Patapsco River with 3,000 to 4,000 tons of steel sitting on top of it. The remainder of the Key Bridge at the bottom of the Patapsco River mangled, and 6 Marylanders unaccounted for. And we knew that when you looked at a task so daunting, so challenging, something so complex that even the Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Fagan, when I saw her on that third day, she said to me, "I have been in the Coast Guard for 37 years, and I have never seen a tragedy so complex as this one." We knew that there was only one way that we were going to work it through, and that was together. So every single day, we got to work. Working in coordination with the Coast Guard and the Navy and the Army Corps of Engineers. Working in coordination with the federal government. Working in coordination with our federal delegation. Working in coordination with the city leadership. And I want to give a special shout out to the city and the county leadership for the job that they did during these past 8 weeks as well, and the job they continue to do. Working in coordination to make sure that we could bring a sense of closure and a sense of comfort to these 6 families who lost family members, and where it took 5 weeks. But we're able to recover every single person that we lost and return their remains to their families to make sure that they get the closure and make sure to get the comfort that they deserve. By being able to make sure that we could get that federal channel reopened. And even though there were some people that first morning who said, when you look at the amount of wreckage that we had in the water, when you looked at the fact that divers could not see any further than a foot in front of them because of the amount of steel in the water, when people said that that could take anywhere from 6 to 9 months to clear that channel, this team got it done in weeks. And when we said we need to make sure that everybody who was impacted was supported, when we said that we need to make sure that all of our port workers, tens of thousands of port workers who woke up that morning without a job, without a place to work, without a vessel, without a bridge in order to get them to work, when we said we have got to collectively come together to be able to support all of those who've been directly impacted, the first responders, the businesses, the port workers. It was the GBC who was one of the first people to step up. It was the private sector who said, we're going to play an important role in this as well. With the leadership of Dr. Sunta and Mark Anthony and everybody else, we're one of the first organizations to step up and become part of the Maryland Tough, Baltimore Strong Alliance, which is now which is an organization of private sector partners and philanthropic partners who said, we are going to make sure we're taking care of those who are supported. It was businesses who said, we will not lay off our workers and we will keep our workers employed. It was businesses who said, even if we have to redirect our work temporarily, as soon as the Port of Baltimore reopens, we are committing to coming back to the Port of Baltimore. We are not going to leave Baltimore behind. And now that organization, the Maryland Tough Baltimore Strong Alliance, is over 130 businesses who have committed to protect and support the city of Baltimore in its greatest time of need. That's what it means to stand coordinated. Over $16 million raised to be able to support our first responders. Over $16 million raised to make sure that we're protecting our families. Passing legislation to make sure that we're providing scholarships to the children to those who we lost that morning. Partnership produces progress. And so when I stand here and I say this is going to be Maryland's decade, that's not words. I've got evidence. When we stand here and say this is going to be Baltimore's time, that's not just rhetoric. I got receipts. This is our time, y'all. This is our time to get big things done. This is our time to get big deals done. This is our time to make sure that we're working in partnership to do big things, like making sure we are keeping the AL East Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore for 30 plus years. This is our time to get big things done, like making sure with Pimlico Plus, we're not just keeping horse racing, which, by the way, represents 25% of the agricultural industry in the entire state. It's not just about keeping the industry in the city of Baltimore and keeping Preakness in Baltimore. For the first time, we have Park Heights that is being not just considered, but at the front of the line and at the front of the conversation when it comes to this industry. When it comes to investing in downtown, when it comes to partnering together for the 10-year plan, I'm telling you, Baltimore is about to have the decade that 10 years from now, other cities in America will simply say, I want to have the kind of decade that Baltimore just had. It's our time. Unapologetically, it's our time. But the reason I know it is because everybody understands the assignment. Everybody's working in partnership. That we need everybody. Every sector. Every community. Every home. Now's the moment. And so Baltimore and GBC, I say thank you. It's an honor to stand with you. And we are nowhere near done. God bless you guys. And thank you for all you're doing, and congratulations on everything.